Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 8 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 8 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter proportional relationships. The lessons we're going to cover today are: find the constant of proportionality from a table, identify graphs of proportional relationships, okay, here I'm on grade 6 math. Okay, find the constant of proportionality from table. Let's just start with the lesson. This table shows how the total number of pages of notes in Kathleen's notebook depends on the number of hours she spends in class. How many pages of notes does Kathleen take during the hours of a class? So 8 hours and 16 pages and 9 hours and 18 pages. So 16 divided by 8 is 2. That means the constant of variation is 2. They can cover two lessons, two homeworks daily. Let's just start with the test questions. The table shows how the total number of books Manuel has read depends on the number of months he has been part of the book club. How many books does Manuel read each month? So you have to do y by x, right? That is 7 over 7, 1. So it would be one book each month. Option number 1 is the, it would be one book. So the table shows how the total pages of notes in Henry's notebook depends on the number of hours he spent in class. How many pages of notes does the uh, how many pages of notes does take during an hour of class? So you have to calculate the constant of proportionality. You have to do y over x, right? That is 10 over 2 is 5. Then 15 over 3 is 5. So the correct option is 5 pages. Option number. It would be 5. Option number 1 is the correct option. The table shows the table shows how the amount of tape Mary has used is related to the number of presents she has wrapped. How many centimeters of the tape does Mary use to wrap each paper? So it would be y over x. So 6 over 2 is. It would be 3 centimeters. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next one is identify graphs of proportional relationships. Y equals the equation describes a relationship between x and y. We need to use the equation y equals to x. Some of values are missing actually. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. So we are already given y equals to x. We need to graph, just use with the graph. So when x is 1, y is 2. When x is 3, y is 4. Option number, basically you have to match the values with the graph, right? So option number 2 is the correct option. Y equals 3x. So we have to see which graph match with the values, right? So 0, 0, So when x is 1, y is 2. X is 1, y is 3. X is 2, y is 6. Option number 1 is the correct option. So this equation describes a relationship between x and y. So you have to match the values with the graph. So x is 2, y is 8. Option number 1 is the correct option, right? This is the graph for this equation. So the equation describes a relationship between x and y. So y equals 6x. The graph is starting with 0, 0. Option number 2 is the correct option. This equation describes the relationship between x and y. So y equals 5x. X is 1, y is 5. Option number 2 is the correct option. Got it? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. Find the constant of proportionality from a graph. This graph shows how the distance Alice has cycled depends on the number of trips he has taken to work. What is the constant of variation? So we need to calculate the constant of variation. So you have to select any 2 points on the graph and then you have to calculate the constant of variation. Like we have the point 0, 0 and 4, 5. So it would be slope is equal to change in y divided by change in x. So subtract the y components divided by the x component. So that is 5 by 4. Let's just start with the test questions. The graph shows how the total number of quizzes Charlie has ever taken in high school depends on the number of weeks he has attended the school this quarter. What is the constant of variation? So just select any 2 points on the graph, that is 0, 0 and 2, 3. So that is 3 minus 0 divided by 2 minus 0, that is 3 by 2. That is 3 by 2. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 1.5 quizzes per week. This graph shows how the total number of pieces Paco knows how to sing depends on the number of weeks he has taken voice lessons. What is the constant of variation? So just select any 2 points on the graph and calculate the constant of variation. Here we have 0, 0 and here we have 20 and 30. 0, 0, 20 and 30. So the constant of variation is change in y divided by change in x. That is exactly the same like we calculate the slope. 3 over 2 is 1.5. So option number 1 is the correct option. This is just another name of the slope actually. 1.5 pieces per week. Option number 1 is the correct option. This graph shows how the total amount of paper Chad's office has recycled depend on the number of weeks since they started the new recycling plan. What is the constant of variation? So just select any 2 points on the graph and then we can calculate the slope. That is 0, 0, 2 and 4, right? So that would be change in y divided by change in x. So 4 over 2, the correct option is 2. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 2 kilograms per week. This graph shows how the cost of Alexa's retirement party depends on the number of guests. So the points are 0, 0 and 10, 50. So that is 50 minus 0 divided by 10 minus 0. So $5 per guest. The correct option is 5. The correct option is $5 per guest. This graph shows how the amount of dough Malia has prepared in is related to the number of hours she has spent working at the bakery. It would be 2.5 kilograms per hour. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 8 math. Chapter we're working on is proportionality, proportional relationships. The lessons we have covered today are find the constant of proportionality from a table, identify graphs of proportional relationships, find the constant of proportionality from a graph. So we were working on grade 8 math. The lesson we were working on is so if you need more help with please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you, or either you can write them down in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. No questions? Okay, then that's all for today.